in the dark vaults of the citadel. We hold tomes bound in dragonhide and inked with warnings. Speak not of Valyria, one says. Its pride lives in ghosts and ash. But I have never feared dust. I study what burns, what endures. And of Valyria, the city that shattered the world, I have studied much. You know of its doom. You've heard the tales. 14 flames vomiting molten gods into the sky. Mountains breaking like bread. Dragons screaming. A scream that echoes still in the bones of old Essos. But what of life before the fire? What was it to walk those shining streets, beneath the bloodstone towers, under wings that blocked out the sun? It is said only the Targaryens escaped, riding the wind to Dragonstone while the rest were swallowed. But I know there were others, lesser scions, obscure lines, burned from the books. One such family was the Maelerys. They bred dragons with minds sharp as steel and claws soaked in sorcery. Their banners were midnight silk, their blood as pure as starfire. And once, they ruled a stretch of the velvet coast, where even the waves bent to the will of magic.
But now, only one voice remains, a whisper among the ruins. Enough parchment, Maester. Enough scratching and scribbling from those who never walked the sky bridges, nor fed the hatchlings by moonlight. If you wish to know Valyria, let me show you. I am Jaenyra of House Maelerys, once keeper of the Azure Vats, and consort to Maexario the Flameborn. I died screaming beneath a sky of stone, but I remember everything. Do you listen? We did not walk. We glided. The streets of Valyria were carved from veined glass, smooth as molten silver. Our palaces floated, suspended by spells long lost. We did not build with brick, we built with thought. Sigils etched by dreaming. Towers grown from seeded gems. The air smelled of ash and lilac. Always ash. For the 13 flames never slept. Smoke crowned our horizon like a garland from the gods. I was born in the year of the splintered moon, when the red dragon Pinaxes died in the sky and rained teeth over the harbor of bells. My cradle was obsidian. My first words were in High Valyrian and flame-tongue both. My brothers wore robes that shimmered with living runes. My sister bled with purpose, for blood was power and the gods of the Freehold were greedy. We fed them often. Do you think us cruel? Perhaps we were, but we did not see it so. There were 40 Dragonlord families, though some scholars say more. We were not noble in the way Westerosi dream of it. We were not knights nor lords. We were masters of fire, of flesh, of the very air. Every house had its way. The Valyrians sailed the burning straits in ships with sails spun of dragonhide. The Oririans raised twins to bond with twin worms, and if one twin died, so did the other. The Valyrians bred their dragons to sing, not roar, and their towers echoed with songs so sweet the stars blinked to listen. With the Maelerys, my line, we studied fusion, melding dragon to man, not merely bonding, but entwining. We whispered spells into eggs and soaked hatchlings in sapphire pools. Some grew 2 hearts, some breathed both fire and ice. We called our greatest success Xalax, a beast whose breath turned bone to salt. He slept in the vault of teeth, coiled around a tower carved with the names of all who dared tame him. None succeeded, not even me. Every morning, we offered to the flame, not out of worship, but respect. The flame was us. The center of Valyria was not a palace, but the hall of binding where blood mages wove the great spells that kept the city from cracking beneath its molten roots. Every 7 days, one from each family offered a drop of their blood to the pool. And every 7 years, one child, do not flinch, It was an honor to be chosen. I remember the sky races, where young riders dove through rings of stone above the harbor, their dragons twining in smoke trails. I remember the festival of the Forged Heart, when we crowned statues of our ancestors in molten gold and sang until the sea hissed in reply. And I remember love, for we were not all ambition and blood. My beloved Maexario was a poet. He bred a dragon named Cindereth, who hummed in her sleep and wept when Maexario sang. When he died in the 7th Spiral War, she flew into the sun. But we were not content. We reached too far, dug too deep. The 13 flames were not mere volcanoes. They were vents of magic, of raw power, older than men or gods. We thought we could bend them. In my final year, whispers spread. A faction of Dragonlords sought to chain the flames, to draw forth their heart fire and bind it into swords, ships, even children. The spells cracked the veil. The mountains stirred. The sky groaned. And still we chanted. I was walking the sky bridge to the Azure Tower when it began. The sun vanished. The mountains we called the Fanged Ones split open. One turned inside out. Another birthed a column of fire so tall it scorched the stars. I saw dragons plummet, screeching, their wings on fire. I saw towers blink out like candles in a storm. And I died, not beneath fire, but beneath falling stone.
Lady Jaenyra, your words chill me more than any winter wind. You've given life to that which history smothered in cinders. But let us remember you as more than a whisper. You were voice and fire and flesh. What say you of those who survived?
The Targaryens, minor once, laughable even. Their dragons were small, their blood half diluted, but they fled. They saw the signs, or perhaps they felt them. A dream, perhaps. The blood remembers. They survived. They remembered. And so, my shadow lingers with you.
And so it ends, dear listeners, not with the ash, but with a voice carried through it. I thank you, Lady Jaenyra Maelerys, for your gift, for reminding us that Valyria was not merely fire, but life, strange and soaring. Let this tale not die in dust, for even in ghost speech, even in ruin, there is wisdom. May the flames guide your path, but not consume it.